controversial video topic, I know, but I think you're all doing this credit grinding thing completely wrong. Of course, this is just my opinion, and you are completely free to play the game that you bought exactly how you want to play it. But there is a famous phrase that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And this really strongly applies to Gran Turismo 7, because most of the races that are the big money races, they are the either 30-minute or 1 hour endurance races in Gran Turismo 7. So it doesn't matter how fast your car is, you're spending 30 minutes driving no matter what. Why not drive a car that's appropriate for the race that you're doing and actually enjoy the experience of driving a car? For example, the Le Mans race, any Group 4 car would work really well. Just add a bit more power to it and you're all good. You could even detune a Group 3 or a Group 2 car and drive the car in the race and you're all good again. The main point being that you're driving a normal car. You're not driving this crazy Tomahawk, high downforce, crazy glitched out car with any game or skill or sport or anything that requires you to do something. There is absolutely no substitute for seat time. Just practice and you are learning absolutely nothing driving that Tomahawk at just crazy speeds, bouncing off walls around Tokyo. You'll learn absolutely nothing. Why not invest some of that time while you're earning these credits to improve your driving, get used to some of the Group 4 cars, learn the tracks you're racing on in a normal car, pick out your braking points, look at your turning points, race with the other AI cars, and importantly, just enjoy the fantastic dynamic weather that is in Gran Turismo 7. These races with the dynamic weather, the variety is there. One race to the next, it's never the same. Sometimes the weather will completely catch you off guard. You might finish 5th, you might not even finish the race. Maybe that's credits wasted, but you're actually playing the game that you've bought and you're playing it in the way that I would assume you decided to buy this game. Now, I can't think there's anybody out there that would have bought Gran Turismo 7 with the hope that they would just drive a Tomahawk for hours on end, just grinding credits. For what? What are you doing? To make things a little bit easier in these dynamic races, I do have a video on my channel. It will be linked at the end of this video, and it'll allow you to hopefully try and predict the weather and get your strategy right to make sure you are more likely to be successful in these races. The more you do the races, the more you execute these strategy calls, the more likely you are to have successful conversions for these races into wins, and you can earn those credits at a similar rate that you can with the Tomahawk. Now granted, I do understand the Tomahawk at Tokyo Expressway, that isn't a time limited race, but Tomahawk at Tokyo Expressway, come on, does anybody actually enjoy that? But in this race I'm doing at Le Mans, I was halfway around the lap and absolutely bucketed down. The heavens opened, 100% wet track, and it's just, you have to deal with it as a motorsport enthusiast, as a wannabe racing driver. These are the kind of cool things that Gran Turismo 7, it gives you those experiences. Looking at right now, the track is so wet and we're still on dry tires and we are just sliding off the track and just about keeping hold of that one, and we're just trying to find a way to get this car to the pit lane so we can put the intermediate tires on. These are absolutely fantastic motorsport moments that Gran Turismo gives you, and it gives you big payouts on money for these races. And then later on in the race, the track dries out, the dry line appears, and then do you make the decision whether to go onto the dry tyres or do you try and run out the race on the intermediate tyres? It's absolutely fantastic stuff. And this is just one of the options for a high money race in Gran Turismo 7. You also have the Spa 1 hour race, 800 pp limit, and using a Group 3 car with a little bit of horsepower added with either a turbo or a supercharger gets you there. My tip for both of these races, in fact all of these races, use a lean fuel mix 6. This means that your window of opportunity for tyre strategy is much broader. You are not pitting so often for fuel, you're pitting at the right time that you need to be for tyre choice depending on how the weather plays out. So high recommendation is to be cautious of using too much fuel, which gives you a broader window for tyre choice and tyre strategy. with the Spa 1 hour race. You run into the night and through to the morning, and it's another fantastic way to enjoy driving in Gran Turismo 7. At the fantastic Spa circuit, we have a great battle with this Porsche here. A little bit of door banging going on, but it's just really good fun. Darkness is falling, the lights are on, and every single lap we do at Spa in this normal car, it's a pretty standard Group 3 car with a supercharger just to get it up to the 800 pp limit. But every single lap I'm doing, I'm learning this track. I'm learning it in the daytime, I'm learning it in the nighttime, I'm learning it when the weather changes a little bit. Every single lap or every single minute that I'm committing to earning credits, at the same time I'm improving my driver's skill. And there is no substitute for just time, investing time into learning something. Let me know your go-to methods for earning credits in Gran Turismo 7. Do you enjoy racing the Tomahawk? Do you feel you have to race the Tomahawk to be most efficient at earning credits? Or do you like to try out different cars in different races, like doing this 1 hour race? You can do it in the Group 2 cars. The Mercedes CLK LM, for example, is a really good car for this race, and it's a really enjoyable car to drive. Lots of variety can be used in this race. Skipping forward now, and in the dead of night the rain is starting to fall, and this is where the elevated driver skill starts to come into it. You've got a lot to deal with, and it's absolutely brilliant. And over time you will learn to drive the car in the wet. You'll learn to drive the car on dry tires on a wet track, and you'll also learn to drive the car on wet tires on a dry track. And all this information that you're gathering when you're earning these credits will help you going forwards, whether you're doing a GT World Series event or a daily race. Whenever we get some dynamic weather or dynamic time of day in the daily races, all of this stuff you're learning all the time. Exiting the pits now on a very wet track on intermediate tires. Now, extra information and professional tip for you: intermediate tires can still aquaplane at higher speeds. And this is extra information in addition to what I said in my wet weather tips and tricks video, is that at Tsukuba I just didn't really get any really high speeds, but now down the straight on intermediate tyres, even get a massive tank slapper on here, and I just can't control the car. This is a huge amount of standing water, and I had a big mistake, guys. But interestingly, the AI also suffer in these conditions as well. So no matter if you have an off or a crash, it's a 1 hour race. You have time to regain your positions. And most importantly, you learn for the next time. I can guarantee you that if I can see some really heavy rain coming down, I'll probably be on full wets instead of intermediates. And if I am on intermediates in the wrong conditions, you can be sure now that I understand that driving at higher speeds means you're more likely to aquaplane. And after all the events that happened in the game, I got to the line with a few minutes to spare. I backed off, waited for the clock to tick over to 30 minutes and completed the race. I knew that the cars behind couldn't catch. I was at least a minute ahead of the other cars, so we're just going to wait for the time to tick off and then drive to the line and get those credits. 1.5 million credits for 1 hour of fun. Don't forget to smash that like button if you have found this video entertaining or useful in any way. On screen right now will be a link to my video about dynamic weather in Gran Turismo 7. This will help you be more successful in converting races into wins. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.